This is Matt with Damaged Goods on Little Raleigh Radio. I'm here at Strange Matter in Richmond, Virginia. I'm here with Nick and Joe from the Found Footage Festival. Could you guys introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Joe. I'm one of the curators of the Found Footage Festival.
I'm Nick. I'm the other Found Footage Fest guy.
And you guys just did your Volume 7 show, is that correct?
Yep. We're in Richmond, Virginia, and we just finished Volume 7. Yeah.
We're on tour with this show for about a year, and we're entering the home stretch, kind of. We're on tour basically until, I think, January. And, we're doing like 120 shows this year and keeping busy.
Well, so you guys, what you do is, for those who don't know, you go to thrift stores and you find old videotapes and you sort of make like a glorious hour-and-a-half or so compilation of them.
Yeah, exactly. We've been collecting these videos probably since, I think 1993 was the first video that we ever got. Nick worked at a McDonald's, and he stole a training video there that was so ridiculous that we both just fell in love with, and we watched constantly and got obsessed with it. And it's you know how training videos are. It's like they're excited to clean the bathrooms, and they're like enthusiastic about everything. We love that, because we'd grown up watching these videos, and so we just fell in love with this one.
And then we thought there has to be more footage out there like that, so we started looking in thrift stores, in our small hometown, and Goodwills and Salvation Armies, and the collection just kept growing, and then to the point where we had enough to take, instead of just showing our friends in my parents' living room or in our dorm room, we took it to the back of a movie theater, 10 years ago, or the back of a bar rather, and people showed up, so now we're still doing it 10 years later.
Yeah, and I was going to mention, you were talking about training videos. I used to work at Eckerd's. I don't know if you guys had those in your part of the...
Is that a drugstore? Yeah.
Now it's Rite Aid.
Oh,
but
yeah, okay.
We had to watch a series of videos, and one of them, I thought about it because I drove by my old store on the way here, actually. And, yeah, there was a shoplifting video, and those are always the best because it's like some guy in a leather jacket with slicked back hair, looking all like suspicious.
Oh, they're the best. Yeah, actually... training videos, those are the hardest ones to find. You don't find those at thrift stores. You have to steal those in order to get them. And I actually stole a shoplifting video. Ironically enough, I stole a shoplifting video because I heard that they had these awful training videos at Suncoast Video. You remember Suncoast Video, like in malls and stuff? I heard that they had the worst training videos, so I actually got a job there. I interviewed, I got hired, I worked a 4-hour shift, and I stole all the videos from the break room. And then the next day I brought them all back, and I was like, hey, sorry, here are your training videos back, but I can't work here anymore. But in that stack, I had that shoplifting video in there too. Yeah.
The casting for the shoplifters is always incredible. It's like ZZ Top guys, and wearing baggy army jackets. It's like the best casting for robbers.
Yeah, I feel like they always thought, especially in the 90s, they thought that was like Hell's Angels who were stealing and stuff like that. But really, it was like 14-year-olds. I was a huge shoplifter myself, so I can speak from experience.
Well, so are there any Holy Grail videos that you haven't been able to come across yet that you're still looking for, that you've heard of?
Yeah, there's one that, the frustrating thing, people send us YouTube videos, and I'm always like, don't, please, because it breaks my heart if it's a video. We don't take any, videos from online. We have to find them in hand. So if it's good, I'm always just like, oh, why couldn't we have found this first? And so there's one called the Super Broker Shuffle, and it's all about, I think, grocery store managers who went to a conference, and they made their own music video that's supposed to be like the Super Bowl Shuffle from 1986, the Chicago Bears music video, but it's them talking about groceries, and so it's basically white old men who are grocery store managers rapping, and I so wish we could find that on VHS somewhere.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's another one. We got an audio tape of this. It was another corporate, convention or something, but it was for Starbucks, and they came up with this song called "We Built This Starbucks on Heart and Soul," and it was so ambitious though. That's the crazy thing, is that it was so ambitious, and they created this 4-minute song, but it's very Starbucks specific, and we listen to that song all the time. You should look it up. We built this Starbucks on Heart and Soul. You can find it somewhere out there, but I gotta think that there was a video that went along with that, and so we're trying to find that.
That's kind of great because they're not really, it's genius because they're not really ruining a classic song because it was never a classic song to begin
with. Yeah. They're just making it somehow. Right. Who knew that you could actually make that?
Yeah, that's right. Well, so do you guys ever get recognized in a thrift store? Has everyone ever been like, hey, are you those found footage guys? Have you gotten to that point yet?
Not at thrift stores. If we're somewhere where like weirdos hang out, we do get recognized for that. But there's sometimes people who work at thrift stores are fans of the show or they like the show, and so we were that the guy invited
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah, a guy worked at a thrift store and goes, I've been saving tapes as they come in for you. And so the day after the show, we drove there in the morning, and he took us back to where all the staff members had their, the warehouse part of it, and he gave us a stack of incredible tapes. So
he had like a really good eye for it too. It was actually pretty impressive. Like that's the cool thing about doing this for 10 years is that now people kind of know what we're looking for. So this guy, he gave us 2 boxes, huge boxes of awesome looking videos. So yeah, that's cool.
Well, I love the TV clips portion of your show because TV sort of has like a couple years ago for my birthday, I had a little TV party, and I took old episodes of ridiculous TV shows and put in crazy commercials in between it, so you were like watching TV back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And my favorite was like a pilot for a TV show called Puchinsky. Have you guys seen that?
Puchinsky?
No,
I
don't know.
It's a pilot that actually aired on TV somehow. They only aired 1 episode. It's from the early 90s.
Was it local television or was it like national?
I think national. It had it was a cop show starring Peter Boyle, and basically he gets shot and killed in the line of duty, and his spirit leaves his body and enters the body of a bulldog.
No.
Yes, you have to see. It's on YouTube, so definitely watch it if you can find
episodes.
1 pilot, and that was it.
Really?
And it's amazing. It was on like one of those TV specials, like the world's wackiest TV shows.
Well, okay, so I get it, like Puchinsky, like Pooch, P-O-O-C-H. Like
yeah.
Puchinsky, but like still kind of.
Was it like a Conan O'Brien, like Gladwell, the one with? Was this trying to be funny or no?
It was scarily sincere.
Oh,
it was
really?
very like basically he looks at himself in the mirror as a dog, and he's like, "Look at me, I'm just a dog now," and he's like all introspective about it.
No way!
Yes, you have to see.
That's the thing. That's the thing with our show is that we want to find the ones that are earnest. Like
exactly.
If they're trying to be funny and failing at it, like that's just hard to watch. That's not even fun to watch. But like, when they're being earnest, that's the bread and butter right there.
There's also a Rescue 911 episode where this kid gets his tongue stuck on the freezer. Have you seen that episode?
Yeah. Rescue 911?
Do you remember? Did you watch that?
I watched that. That was like Tuesday nights. I'd watch that. Yeah, every week. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about that at my friend's birthday party a few months ago, and this guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the guy who uploaded that to YouTube," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, this is my username. That was season 3, episode 2," and he was like, the guy. It just happened to be the guy who uploaded that to the internet was at a party with me, and I was
Sounds like a lot of your social interactions happen at birthday parties.
Yeah, it's true.
You've told me so far.
Yeah, and also with the TV party, I had an episode of Cop Rock. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very familiar with that one.
It was originally on. I watched it. Yep.
Yeah.
And there's also a British. Well, I was going to say Cop Rock. For those that don't know, it's like a cop show / musical. It was kind of like NYPD Blue mixed with Glee, sort of, but very sincere.
But I think the guy who did it was actually he had a respected name in television, didn't he?
I don't know if it was. I can't remember if it was David Milch or who did that, but it was basically like Bob Fosse directing a cop show. So it was pretty. The idea was bold. I'll give him that.
I can't believe that it actually saw the light of day.
Yeah,
I think that like even in the pitch meeting, people would be like, "No way!" But like the fact that it actually got on air.
Yeah, and there's a British sitcom they only aired 1 episode of. It's called Heil Honey, I'm Home. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Oh God,
I
assume Hitler's involved.
Yes, it's a wacky British sitcom with Adolf Hitler and Ava Braun, and they live next door to a neurotic Jewish couple.
Oh man, I'm laughing already.
And it was from the early 90s, and somehow they aired an episode of it, and people loved it so much that they canceled it after that. So it's ridiculous because Hitler walks in and says like, "Heil honey, I'm home," and you get like the laugh track or the cheer from the audience.
I'm sure the studio audience went wild when they saw that. Yeah.
I just love that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I don't even know if you could see that kind of stuff on TV anymore, because I feel like people put a stop to that because they know it's going to go on the internet and it's some kind of embarrassment or something.
I don't know though. I feel like TV now. There's so many goddamn channels that I feel like anybody with an inkling of an idea can get. It almost feels like public access now for TV.
Yeah.
Like anybody can get a show.
I guess I don't watch TV much anymore, so I'm not aware.
That's a good thing. There's a lot of awfulness out there. It's like reality shows about tow truck drivers, and I don't know. It's like, but like not one, but like 4.
We have a local one in North Carolina. It's called Lizard Lick Towing.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, exactly.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's some. At my work, some guy came in. I work in retail, and this guy came in and was trying to get me to be an extra on the show. He was like, I'm a part of the show, and I want you to be.
And you said yes, I will be. Right?
I was like, he asked me to be on there the next day, and I was like, sorry, I have to work. So, which is a true story.
That would have been a quick $25.
I know. Could have been my 15 minutes of fame, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, so. What is there any sneak preview you can give on anything from the next volume, Volume 8?
What do we got to talk about? Jesus's.
Well, I'm excited about this one. This is like my epic. Like I wanted this to be my big edit here. We wanted it for this show, but I wasn't able to get it done in time. I've been collecting. We've been collecting for years now all Jesus videos and all videos about Jesus where they depict Jesus. They have guys dressed up as Jesus. There's animated cartoons about Jesus. There's so many of them. I wanted to do a montage called 101 Jesuses, and I think I have enough at this point. I think there are about 101, and I think that So, but the Jesus videos are so great because they're like the horror films of religious videos, and they love making the crucifixion scene because they get to bring out the fake blood and they get to bring out the whips and just the pain and the agony. It's probably really fun to shoot, and a lot of these religious organizations, they have a lot of money to put towards this kind of stuff. So there's some good gore out there in the religious world.
For me, it's seeing all the different body shapes and looks of Jesuses. You got the hunky sort of Fabio Jesuses, and then you got kind of the more skinny ones. You got the ones that just kind of like the cartoons that are almost like Jewish stereotype Jesuses. So that'll be interesting when that all cuts together.
But they're all always the whitest guys in the world, and they're all very attractive, and I love Jesuses.
It kind of reminds me of, even though it's not a Jesus video, the Creating Rem Lazar video.
Oh, yeah.
How would you describe that video?
Well, that is actually I think it tells the Christ story in that one. Yeah, that was a weird. We found that one in Denver. We were in Denver, and we went to this guy's place, and we watched this children's video. And when we watched it, it's called Creating Rem Lazar. We thought that at first it was. We thought it was Christian at first because it did have all these Christian undertones to it, but then it wasn't Christian at all. Then our second thought was it's got to be Canadian. Like I thought it was a Canadian video next after that, but it wasn't Canadian either. It was just like this creepy children's video.
Yeah, it's this guy comes to life. These kids bring this guy to life. He was like a mannequin or something, and then he comes to life and sings and dances and teaches them a lesson, and he learns something from them too.
I was going to ask you, I found at the thrift store not too long ago a video called something like 25 Places to Take Your Date On. Have you guys seen that one?
No, I don't know.
No.
It's like, and I think it has a quote by George Jefferson. I forget the actor's name on the back.
Sherman Hemsley?
Yeah. He has a quote from him about how great the video is on the back. So you got your credentials there.
That's the beauty of this industry that we're in, or whatever you want to call it. Industry, I don't know. But the fact that in the 80s and 90s, video finally became cheap to produce. Before they were shooting on film, so everything was very precious. But now it's video. It's so cheap. Anybody with an inkling of an idea, they could video instantly. So, we find all these videos. Like anybody with like half of an idea, like the one you just mentioned.
Yeah, it's great. They suggest all these places you're going to go on your first successful date. One of them is to take a girl to test drive a car that you can't afford.
Oh, man.
Like a fancy sports car.
Is it like a funny video, or is it like trying to be? It has to be. That has.
I feel like funny. It's kind of hard. It's one of those videos where it's hard to tell. Like it feels like they're trying at some parts to be funny, but at other parts they're trying to give helpful advice. Yeah,
but like the title alone, that they're trying to move some copies by helping lonely people or something like that. Yeah,
it's the kind of video you never want someone to find in your your bookshelf.
Yeah, right. Like if you die and and your parents are going through your storage locker and they find that one.
Yeah. One of the other ones is CPR class is one of the places you take someone on a date.
Oh yeah,
that's
that's how I met my girlfriend actually.
Is it? Well, there you go. So the video speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my favorite was bake cookies with kids from the neighborhood, which seemed like the scariest and most like, you know, especially these days.
It's just screaming pedophilia,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, oh man, baked cookies. What was it? Baked. What's it about? Is it a movie or is
that's
it
one
a?
of the
It's just like
dating options.
it's just
Oh,
like an
that's one of the
instructional.
dating
Yeah,
options.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
All
it's
right.
just wanna. It's pretty wild stuff. So I'll have to mail that one to you guys. So
Please.
yeah.
All right.
Please.
Yeah, hook us up.
So yeah, well the Jesus one I'm definitely looking forward to.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm hoping. I think that'll kick off our volume 8. I'm hoping it kicks it off.
We already have a full frontal nudity for next year's show too, so we're not going to give that away. But it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's one thing that we feature in all of our shows is full frontal male nudity, whether anybody wants it or not. That's the unwritten rule of the Found Footage Festival.
So I'd heard some talk about you guys maybe doing a sort of a show where you talk to the people that behind the videos that you found. Is that something that you guys aren't doing anymore?
No, we do that in every show. Like we just talked to John and Johnny in Volume 7, where we go meet the people, and you know, we flew all those guys into the same city to meet them, and so yeah, that's one thing we do every year. Is we find people from the show. The year before that, we found a guy, Frank Wachowski, who was a man dancing in a Speedo in front of elderly people. So yeah, that's one thing that you know, one of the ways we've evolved in the last 10 years, and now we go to pretty great lengths to meet the people in the shows.
And now I'm thinking maybe we should track down one of the Jesuses. Find one of the Jesuses in there and talk to actual Jesus. Because he is actual Jesus. Like, he's the closest we're going to come to actual Jesus on this planet, right? I mean...
A guy named Dennis that lives in Phoenix. Yep.
My favorite, whenever I tell people like you need to check out the Found Footage Fest, is the Rent a Friend.
Oh.
I think that one is genuinely the most bizarre one.
Yeah, no, Rent-A-Friend's one of the weirdest ones. Yeah, we found that one in Chicago. It was shrink wrap. It was still in the shrink wrap when we found it. And the idea behind Rent-A-Friend was that if you were a lonely person and you had a VCR, you could pop in this tape, and this guy would be your friend for the next 45 back minutes. And, like, yeah.
It starts off weird, you know, and then it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. It's hard to believe it's real, but it was. He was trying to come up with a hit video, and it just ended up far weirder than he anticipated.
And that's one of those videos where, like, yeah, you think that it's a joke or a sketch or something like that, but then we found out, we actually tracked the guy down, and we found out that he was 100% earnest when he made this video, and also found out that the video wasn't a huge success, which I don't know. I always think that it should have been a success because it was really like Facebook before Facebook. It was really like social media. Like, this guy came into your home and he would interact with you.
Archaic way of doing it.
Yeah, you have to suspend a lot of disbelief in order to talk to this guy. But yeah.
Well, so is it true that you guys once performed at a cafeteria for a community college?
Yeah.
More than one.
The rumors have gotten out there, huh? Yeah.
Showbiz.
We just did one 2 days ago, actually, in Delaware. So, but yeah, no, the worst one we ever did was at a small school in Wisconsin, and it was it was still light out, and you couldn't really see the videos, and there's 200 people in there eating lunch, and we're kind of ambushing them with our show. So at one point we were looking at each other on stage, and we realized, we're up there introducing a clip. We realized not a single person was watching us. So we just started
why
laughing.
Would they? They're having lunch right now.
Right.
Like, we're playing to people who are having lunch. Like, you don't expect to be entertained by live comedy when you,
That said, if there are any community colleges in Raleigh, we'll happily come there. Bring us.
They pay very handsomely.
Yes.
So we always say yes to them.
That's interesting. Was that one that they came to you for that, or did you go to them?
We have a college booking agent that books us at shows, and we never say no to anything. So, we just love doing the show. So
Yeah. We have a radio agent. That's how you got us booked today too. So we just got to talk to the right agent.
That's right. Well, so did you guys you stayed with a girl and she had asked you, I guess she was trying to convert you by letting you stay at her house? Am I getting the story wrong?
Oh yeah!
Wow, you did your homework.
Yeah.
So what was is that?
Yeah,
the
that was.
San Luis
I'm a
Obispo?
single guy. What else am I going to do?
Is that San Luis
yeah.
San Luis Obispo one?
Okay, so yeah, our first tour in 2005 on the West Coast was. We were trying to do it like a rock band. We're like, everybody has stories about sleeping on strangers' floors, and so we're like, well, that's what we'll do. And so we put out a call on MySpace for people, and a friendly girl in San Luis Obispo said, "Come on, and you guys can stay with me and my roommates, and we'll cook you dinner." And we said, "Sounds great." So we got there, and we said, "So what brings you to San Luis Obispo?" And they said, "Well, for a lot of reasons, but mainly because of Jesus Christ told us to be here." And we were kind of like, "No, but really, why? Was it the
beautiful weather,
the mountains, was it the climate?" And so we were just thinking of all the horrible things we're about to show in the show that maybe weren't the most Christian friendly.
Because, like we said, we show full frontal male nudity in all of our shows, and we just knew that these poor girls were going to see. And in that particular video, we featured this new device for men who can't get erections, where you install a tube into your wiener, and then you blow up the tube in your scrotum, and it gives you an erection that way. It's hydraulics. It's basically hydraulics. So that we knew that we were going to be showing that video that night, and that these girls were going to show up to it. And when we got to that point in the show, they were all sitting in the front row, and I remember they were all looking at their cell phones the entire time. They knew too, and they just like, we're going to be looking at our cell phones now.
And instead of going back to a hotel somewhere and commiserating about how awful that situation was, we had to go back to their house and talk about our Savior, Jesus Christ, until about 2 in the morning.
It was one of the longest nights of our lives.
So now we get hotels. That's the lesson.
That's the moral of the story.
I didn't know if there was a recording of this encounter that maybe would be like an extra on your next DVD.
Oh, maybe it should be.
Yeah.
If
we had the foresight. You never know.
Foresight.
Never know when some awful situation's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, so where can people go on the internet to find your stuff?
FoundFootageFestival.com. Yeah, we upload a bunch of stuff that doesn't quite make the show, and
it's actually FoundFootageFest.com.
I think festival will get you
does
there.
It get there?
Yeah,
okay.
festival will get you
Yeah.
there.
The shorter one is Fest, but either way, and then you can also.
A second.
Yeah, you can go to YouTube too. We have some of our videos are on our YouTube page. Type in Found Footage Fest.
And lastly, is there anything that you have wanted to show and then you decided it would be too much for the audience? Like anything that sticks out in your mind?
Yeah, I mean there was a. Man, have you ever seen the Steve Vai video before?
I have not.
Oh man, okay. So the Steve Vai video, this was kind of big on tour buses for bands and stuff. This woman was obsessed with Steve Vai, and she made him a fan video where she set up a camera on a tripod and then videotaped herself blowing out candles with her vagina, and she was actually really good at it, and we were like, oh, this is great, this is right up our alley, we love this. And then, but as you watch the video, you could kind of tell that like she had this
dead-eyed stare.
Dead-eyed stare. It was dead-eyed stare that we were just like, oh, this woman is like psychotic, and it stopped being funny after a while, and so like it was one where we were like, oh, it's just sitting here ready to go, and we can't show it.
The other thing we learned is that female nudity isn't funny, but male nudity always is. So, just one of those life lessons you learn.
They don't teach you that kind of stuff in school. So.
Oh, and lastly, is it going to be a while before the Volume 8 tour happens?
I don't know. I think we're going to be done with this one in December, and then we usually spend about 3 months working on the new show. So I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 months. Or no.
I would say next spring at the soonest.
Probably next spring. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for being on Little Riley Radio today, guys. It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.